Most average golfers don't use their body enough in the swing, and what you may not realise is that the starting position and the impact position are quite different. I think a lot of golfers think that they have to come back at the ball to the same position they were at the starting position, but it's not the case. You'll start in this position and you'll impact with the body, particularly the top half, turned quite well through the shot, almost a sort of a half turn through at impact. So really important when you're swinging to start turning your top half through the shot. It's going to add a lot of power, it's going to add a lot of consistency. Really good players can overdo this, but the average golfer tends to not do it enough. So next time you're practicing, feel that you're turning your top half through the shot, you get that lovely full follow through, body completely facing the target to finish. We all know that you need to turn your body to get your maximum power and to get good connection in the swing. But what does it feel like to turn correctly? It's easy to tilt, it's easy to sway. So this is a little drill that will just show you the feel of the correct turn. So what you're going to do is take your golfing posture, so where you would normally feel comfortable, and then pop the club across your hips. And all you're going to do is simulate your turn by keeping the club parallel to the ground. So you're not going to go very far back, it's only like a quarter turn. Keep the club parallel to the ground. The right knee stays flexed, in other words, you're not going to lock it in. See, when I lock that knee, how my club now tilts. If you're tilting your club rather than keeping it level, then you'll know that that's the incorrect motion for the hips. And it's the same for the shoulders. Keep the club fairly parallel to the ground. If you start tilting it down, you know that you're swaying and tilting, which is not going to be good for your power and not going to give you that proper turn. So it's the turn this way. So you need a full turn here to 90 degrees, and once you've done that, you should have a half turn here. So that's how you know you've done enough turn as well. A nice level shoulder turn, in other words, no tilting back and forth. Use your club across your hips and your shoulders, and that will give you the feel of the correct turn. If you struggle to get your body involved in your shot, which is so important for power and consistency, then this is a tip that might help you. So what you can do is take your setup in an imaginary way, so no golf club, and then you're going to take your leading arm off, just leave it beside you there. Bring your right elbow and in close to you here. Now simulate some short swings where you stop halfway back and come halfway through, keeping this arm close to your side. So halfway back, keeping it close, halfway through. Do that a few times and get a feel for how the body really wants to get involved in the shot for you. Now when you swing the club, as you come further back, you will tend to separate away. You'll come back in again close, and then you'll separate away again over here. So we can do a few where you go a little bit longer, but still try and get the feeling of the body being involved in the shot. And then you can even grab a club and do the same short ones. Bring it in, tuck it in nice and close, coming through and stopping, tucking in, feeling it nice and close in here next to you. So give that a go to get the feel of the body getting more involved. Try it out in the backyard at home and get a feel for that body motion for extra power and extra consistency. So as a lot of you know, I'm always talking about using your body in the swing and not letting your swing become armsy, so arms only. When you use your body, you get power, you get consistency. It's much easier to keep that left arm straight. So a really good way to think about using your body in the swing is to imagine that you're tossing a frisbee. Now I haven't got a frisbee at the moment, and you don't really need one, but imagine that you're about to toss a frisbee in this direction, and what would you normally do to do that action of tossing a frisbee? And I would imagine you might turn your back on the target and turn through. And notice my follow through here is a little bit like a golf follow through. What you wouldn't do was just flick it with your hand. Some people might, but you're not going to get a lot of distance on the frisbee. So if you can toss away your club, and then imagine that you're going to toss a frisbee and send it as far down as you can, and that action is very similar to the body motion of your golf swing. So either get a frisbee or imagine you've got one and simulate tossing a frisbee down the fairway, and that should help you get the feel of the body being more involved. So this tip is an oldie but a goodie, and it's called pass the basketball. Now, I couldn't find a basketball, so we've got a basket instead, but you're going to get the same idea. Now, this is a tip that gives you the feeling of the correct turning motion in the swing, can add power if you're adding turn, getting the body moving correctly. So you're going to imagine that there's a person standing to your right and a person standing to your left. You're going to take your setup position holding the basket, or if you do have a basketball, holding the basketball. You're going to pass the basketball to the person on your right, then you're going to pass the basketball to the person on the left. Come back to your centre point, pass the basketball, pass the basketball. On the back swing, keep your head pointing down at the ball. On the follow through, you can come up with it and come through. So pass the basketball to the person on your right, then pass the basketball or the basket to the person on your left. So give that a try to improve the turning motion of your swing. So you hear people say all the time just how smooth the pros look and how much easier the pros make it look and how effortless the pros make it look. And there is a reason for that. And it's not just technique. The reason the pros make it look so easy is because they're really using their body and they're moving. So as they're swinging back, the body's turning and the same coming through, everything's moving together. What you see for the average golfer is much more body still, arms trying to create the work, trying to create power with the arms rather than allowing the body to get involved. So there's a lesson in that for everybody. Really get the top half turning back, turning through, keeping everything connected, and that gives you that look of smoothness, and it also adds to the power. So get your body involved and you'll add a lot of power and you also look a lot more like a pro.